Do a video today to show you how to assemble. This video is just how to assemble, to put it together, the roof rack for the Nissan Navara D40 pickup. We recommend that you assemble it together and then offer it on the roof to mark the fitting locations on the roof before you then drill. But it's better to put the whole thing together completely. So what we've done is we've got all the bits out, laid them out as they should go, and the fitting bolts, and we'll go through it each in turn. So if I pass the camera over to Tom. So if we start with, the easiest thing to take out is the 16 riv nuts, which are these blind riv nuts, so they've got the whole, they're blanked off at the bottom, and the hex nuts there and the washers. Those 16, leave those to one side because they're the ones that are going to go through the foot locations and bolt it to the roof. So that's not part of this assembly video, right? So this is the front foot. It slopes up, goes just above the windscreen. Right, the key point to note here, hopefully you can see this, is they're marked with an R, okay? So that R is right, and obviously I won't show you the left on all of these, but you've got a corresponding L. Now I've coloured them in orange, they won't be orange on your kit, that's just to help the video, okay? So that's the front feet. Right, let's do the front rubber while we're at it. So again, these rubbers are marked with an R and an L on the other side, and you can see this one slightly tapered shape, okay? Now that fits over here, and if you've got it right, these little pins in here will line up with these little sort of letter boxes here, so that when you put it on, it's quite clever, the rubber stays in place. Makes it a lot easier when you position it on the car. The rubber there doesn't fall off. Okay, so that's the front foot and the front rubber. Right, the front foot bolts to this pre-inserted riv nut here, this captive nut here. This slides over like so, and then you use one of these smaller M3, sorry, 3mm M5 key, yeah. So,
and there's a keyway also.
You'll need a 3R, yeah. So that goes in there, but as Tom's mentioning, I should point out, so that's with a washer, right? So that brings us on to the bar. So the bar has a keyway. The keyway faces inbound. Now the bar does have a stamped L and R on it. We've put it in a square there, you should, so you can make sure you've got the right bar. But then when you assemble that, the keyway there, and there is a keyway inside the foot, you probably can't see that on the video, on the correct side, so that you can only get it on, hopefully, the right way. That lines up. Now when you're assembling for the, don't assemble everything too tight, because you'll need a little bit of movement just to jiggle it on the roof, but assemble it together, there you go, just tight enough to keep it all together. Right, okay, now that's, right, let me get that one on quickly. Alright, then we've got the front crossbar we'll tackle next as we're going front to back. So this is the crossbar. This one is movable. You can move it forward and back along the bars depending on what you've got. Okay, now you'll see it's sort of an aerofoil section to minimise noise. The clamps only fit on one way, okay, so you can't get that wrong. And then you've got these sort of, the second part of the clamp is marked, you can see there, with an R, the other one's marked with an L. They also have this little tang coming out of one side, and you can't get those wrong, so you can only put the right one on the right clamp. Okay, now these take the bigger crosshead bolts, go in there, and that's how you fit those. Okay, so that's the crossbar. Hopefully we've covered that. Now we'll move.
That goes from underneath.
Yes, sorry, I've put that on upside down. So as Tom pointed out, you'll notice that's got an arch. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so this goes on from when you've got it on the car, is on top, so you can loosen them from on top. Okay, yeah, don't do like I did and put it there. And you'll notice there's a curve in there, so obviously the curve foot is parallel to the curve on the car. So when it's on the car, it's in that orientation. So you can loosen that to move the clamp forwards and backwards. You've got these foam pads pre-installed on the inside so that it grips in place when you're at the right location. Right, and let's move back to the rear foot. Again, inside, so you need to look for it. You've got an L and an R on the inside. Now, these feet have a front end and a back end. So the car facing the front of the car as it's driving along is this end here. And the back end has got like this sort of step in it. And that step interfaces with, if I get this right, interfaces with that when it's assembled. These two sort of butt up to each other to form a, I'll get the orientation right, something like this, okay? So, you'll see you've got a hole here, and this lines up with this, again, pre-inserted riv nut here. But make sure when you slip this over that you've got the front end going to the front. Now, they may come in the kit from the factory on the other way, so you may just watch that they've been put on the right way, okay? Do that. And then we're using, so this is one of the smaller ones, is it, Tom? Is this the M5?
M5
with the 3mm hex and a washer, okay? So again, you don't want to do that too tight, just spin that up, okay? And again, the rear foot is the squarer foot. You've got L and R, okay, and you want to line up all these little tongues with the little letter boxes so that it is all, he says, okay, again, have I got that wrong, Tom?
No.
I just can't find it. Hold on. Yes, you see, it's, yeah, so these two are wider apart and those two are closer, so I'm making all the mistakes so you don't have to. So, yeah, those two there go on that side, that's it, and you'll see. So it is well designed, you really can't get it wrong if you, even I can't get it wrong, it appears, although I did get the other bit wrong, didn't I? Right, there we go. So that's the foot, okay? So now you can start to see it taking shape as we look at the rack along there, okay? So we'll get in there now. Right, the rear bit, okay, so we've got, again, the rear aerofoil bar. This is the back end. Right, we've got an L on here, and again, these clamps, the aerofoil only fits one way into here. So we've got the crosshead screws inserted underneath here. Okay. Right, now this little plate's clever little plate. Should we swap places? Go on that side. So this slots in with the little tang down. It posts in from the top, and then that little dog at the bottom should lock into that. And that's a clever way of forming a captive nut. You can then slide this one over like so, and we should be able to see on the end there, yeah, the hole lining up. Crosshead. Oh, bear with me a second. So we've got the crosshead screw on here. Now there's a couple of little caps that go on this. Yeah, so we've got the crosshead in, we've screwed that in, and we've got the end caps here that go on to finish those off. I wouldn't fit these till the very end, but while we're covering the assembly, and by the very end I mean when you've got it bolted in place and you're happy with it, because they've got some pretty fierce clips on here that are really only designed to fit on a couple of times. So you'll notice the left and the right hand of these are the same. There's two of them in the kit, but you'll notice you've got 3 clips and 1 pin, and at the top here, as you look from the front, you'll see you've got the pin. So at the end, when you're happy with everything, you will fit that on, line the pin up, and that will clamp into place, okay, like so. That'll snap in. Right, so I think that covers the assembly of the kit. So everything there should now, when you lofer it up onto the car, it should all line up in place.